Places have stories, and it is our job as human beings on this planet to go unlock them. Hi, I'm Helena, and I am an astrocartographer traveling the world to my different astrocartography lines to test and share the journey with you. It wasn't until I moved to France in 2018 that I learned about astrocartography, learned about the energy and stories of places in the world. And I have been on a mission to uncover and unlock the potential within my chart by timing my travels to be at the right place at the right time. And in this video, I'm going to be taking you to Japan, where I recently spent 2 weeks on my Jupiter IC line while it was being activated during my Jupiter opposition, and as Jupiter is transiting over my natal sun in Taurus. Let's get into today's vlog. Come on. Good morning from this beautiful little village called Kanazawa in Japan. It's 5 a.m. Alex is still sleeping, and I wanted to just explore this little village in the silence with the birds singing. Oh, the birds are so beautiful here in Japan. They have the most interesting little songs. Like, they're like, like they have like a little trill, like a little like trill at the end that's just so magical. I've never heard that bird chirp in my life before. Hear that? Oh, let's go do some exploring here in Kanazawa. Come along. By the way, before we get into today's astrocartography vlog, be sure to download my new podcast, Cosmic Compass with Helena Woods. It's all about astrocartography, relocation astrology, and callings, and following your callings in life, your intuition. And when you've downloaded, subscribed to the podcast, and left a 5-star rating and review of the podcast on Apple iTunes, be sure to send me a screenshot of your review that you submitted, because I'm going to be giving away free astrocartography readings. And if we get in the top 20% of the astrology spirituality podcast charts on Apple iTunes, I'm going to be giving a free live training, a 1-hour Zoom class to all of you who leave a review. So let's do this, community. Let's get this podcast up to the top of the charts. I'm so excited for this podcast. And I know so many of you guys are going to benefit and learn and just feel so uplifted, expanded, and excited for life, for connecting with your authentic self. And there's so much knowledge and insight and wisdom I want to share with you. And so let's do this, community. Let's get this podcast to the top of the charts. I can't do this without you. So before we continue with the vlog, be sure to head over to that podcast. I'll include a link down below. I'm so excited. All right, let's get into the episode. Yeah, I will say one of the things that has been very apparent since I got here to Japan is my psychic downloads have come in way more often. I'm intuitive, things come through me all the time, but it's been like way more here in Japan since I got here. And I haven't looked at my Parans yet on my map, so I'm gonna do that today. I'm really curious to see what Parans have I been going through are within orb, because I feel really good here. I feel a little bit more intense though. You know, with the Jupiter energy is really confident and playful and enthusiastic, and I love my Jupiter lines, but there is like a little bit of a Pluto energy that comes into Japan here too. So I am curious to see if I have either any Parans, Pluto Parans, or if I have any local space lines involving Pluto with the areas that I've been specifically traveling through. So I'm going to check that out later today, because there has been a little bit more of intensity and obsessive energy coming in, and that's always Pluto. So all right, I'm gonna go get some coffee now. Here's the coffee shop. Super cute. So I ended up looking at my astrocartography lines to see if I had any Parans in the area. And get this, I was right. I had a Pluto-Mercury Paran within orb of where I was in Japan. You gotta look at those Parans. Those Parans are so important. And that Mercury-Pluto is a doozy, not one of my favorite Parans to be on. I always say that Mercury-Pluto Parans are great for overthinking. If you want to find yourself obsessing, overthinking, or just feeling more intense, Mercury-Pluto will definitely do that. At this point in 2024, I've worked with over 2,000 clients doing readings, and while I've learned a lot working with clients and hearing their stories, there's nothing quite like actually going to a place and testing it for yourself. And for me, I learned the most through actual experience. That experience of actually being on a Mercury-Pluto gives you so much information and data so that you could better help other people when it comes to understanding where to live and be in the world. That Pluto intensity that I was feeling the entire trip was that Paran. And a couple other things that I want to share about in this video. So I'm walking around the streets here in Kanazawa, and one of the things that's really striking about being here, I feel my dad's spirit here, my dad's soul here. And I haven't connected with his spirit in a long time. My dad died when I was 21. And it was one of the biggest things in my life because it changed my life. When you're like 20, 21 years old and your parent passes, it's just so jarring. It's one of those experiences you never forget. And it changed me. When my dad died, it really changed me. Because I stopped doing what I was doing. I was in the entertainment business. I was doing casting, and I wanted to be in show business in New York, and I just got really clear on my values when my dad died, like what really matters, what's really important to me. And it just changed my life. Like I decided I wanted to work for myself. I decided to buy a camera and start doing photography work. I started my own business doing photography. I started traveling the world then. I just started living life for me and living life for like what excites me, what brings me joy. And that all started because my dad, like when he passed, it just was like a wake-up call in my life. And I just realized like none of these things that I thought were important mattered anymore, like money and status and being a name and, you know, like just none of that stuff matters. And being here in Kanazawa, I feel his spirit with me here, and I haven't felt his soul connect with me in a long time. But I was just walking down this alley street just by myself in the silence, and I felt his presence here. What's interesting is my dad loves Japanese culture and Japanese food, and it's just interesting how like I felt him come in psychically, and then just remembering like, oh yeah, like his favorite food was Japanese food, and that's just one of his favorite cultures in the world is Japanese. That's just interesting. But it's probably one of the biggest things I noticed. Literally yesterday, I was walking down the street and I had a gut psychic download come through me. Like, and that's what it feels like. Whenever I get a psychic intuitive download, it feels like a lightning bolt. It comes up here or it comes to my gut, and it's really quick and it's really fast and it comes out of nowhere. And one of the downloads I got yesterday walking around this village with Alex was, we're about to meet a cat. Like there's going to be a cat on the street. And we're about to meet a cat. And keep in mind, there was no indicator of a cat coming. Like I didn't see a picture of a cat. I didn't see any cats. I didn't hear a meow. Like there was nothing that would hint that a cat was on the way to greet Alex and I. But it was just a knowingness. It came out of nowhere and it shot through me. And then I told Alex, I was like, Alex, I just got a gut feeling that a cat is coming. Like we're about to meet a cat on the street. And he was like, what? But he's used to this. He's used to my little psychic downloads that come out of nowhere. And I always tell him, and I always like declare and announce like this is coming. And then it always does. And sure enough, we walked like maybe a minute, 2 minutes later, we turned the corner, we walked down the street, and sure enough, there was a cat there. I haven't seen a cat here in Japan in like 3 days, and it just came out of nowhere. Like, isn't that weird? And Alex, he was like, are you kidding me? Because sometimes he gets like annoyed because Alex, he he's like, are you kidding me? Like, this always happens. You know, and he now like honors my gut. Like when I intuitively tell him something's coming, or we should do this, we shouldn't do this, I just have a feeling about it. He has seen time and time again how right I've been with predictions, that he just like honors it. He's just like, okay, I understand. Like, we listen to the inner voice. One of the things that was really apparent to me when arriving in Japan was my love and desire for how I dressed, and also showing up on camera, wanting to be seen, wanting to do lots of photo shoots. That is such a Leo rising thing. And as I relocated to Japan, in my relocated chart, Leo becomes my ascendant. The ascendant is you. It is the most important part of the chart. And I also have my Leo moon on the ascendant here. So there was just this energy of wanting to be in the limelight, wanting to be playful, wanting to have fun, wanting to shine. Every morning I would wake up and listen to music and dress really fun in bright colors. And that Leo playfulness just radiated from me. Despite the intensity of my thoughts, my obsessiveness, my overthinking, there was still so much more that was also playing a part in this chart. Another thing that was so different was my relationship to media, social media, my community, connecting online. As you may remember from my previous vlog, when I went to the Middle East in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, there was this sense of not wanting to be on social media, not wanting to be online, not wanting to connect with friends. And this was the opposite when I was here. As Venus and Mercury relocated to my 11th house, I was always in touch with friends, or just wanting to talk, wanting to voice memo, wanting to send texts, wanting to document and share the journey on Instagram stories all the time. There was just this love of wanting to connect with community. While I could never in a million years live in Japan, just because being a vegetarian who doesn't eat fish, there were very limited options of food for me to eat, and it was hard to get protein, it was hard to find protein. I also don't speak Japanese, and it was really hard to communicate with anyone during this trip because of the language barriers. But I still had this deep appreciation of the land here. Immediately felt this resonance with the mountains of Japan. Japan is one of the most beautiful, clean places I've ever been in the world, similar to Austria or Switzerland. When you leave Tokyo and the major cities and go into the country, it is just pristine and so fresh and feels so clear. And there's this spiritual energy that just wafts through the neighborhoods and the countryside. And walking in the morning to get my coffee from my Ryokan every day was just such a joy, and one of those memories I'll always remember. Okay, so I'm sure you guys are going to want to know about the Ryokan and where I'm staying. So I'll include a link down below to the booking.com website where we booked the Ryokan, but take a look. Come on. We arrived at the Ryokan.
Oh my goodness.
I am so delirious.
Oh, she could not sleep. So
I slept 3 hours last night, which apparently is quite common when you're jet lagged in Japan, is people typically sleep 3 to 4 hours a night and then wake up in the middle of the night because their schedule's off, which I feel very delirious right now, but this is so cool. Like, this has been one of my dreams. Like, when I think about going to Japan, I always think of staying in a Ryokan.
Me too.
And you really wanted to go to Tokyo. He really
Well,
wanted
I
to see
wanted to do
Tokyo.
both. Ryokan
Yeah.
and Tokyo. It's a
I
two-time
could skip
experience.
Tokyo. I could skip it. I don't need to see Tokyo.
Tokyo's a
I
lot.
don't need to see it.
That's true.
It's really
This is more our
overstimulating.
speed.
Yeah, this is way more my speed. Like, we've got this beautiful view of the mountains. It's super simple, minimalist, peaceful, calming. We have the onsens. Onsens? Is that what it's called?
Onsen,
An
yeah.
onsen, which is like a spring water
Spa.
natural hot springs. So we're excited to do that. We're going to have an early dinner, go to sleep early tonight. But I'm really excited because they're going to call us on this telephone right here. They're going to call us at 6 for dinner, and then I'm going to pick it up, and they're gonna tell us.
And breakfast is also included. Japanese
So
breakfast.
excited. This is such a cool telephone. I feel like I'm living in Nancy Drew Shadow at the Water's Edge. I don't know if you've ever played that video game. It's a 2010 CD-ROM game. But it's one of my favorite video games. I love all the Nancy Drew mystery games. I've been playing them since I was like a little kid, and I love to play them in my free time. And the Shadow at the Water's Edge game is really fun. It's really good. And that was what like initially got me so inspired to like do this and stay at a Ryokan. So like I'm just so excited to be here. I wonder if there's going to be any mysteries tonight that we'll need to go explore. And hope no spirits will have to solve any mysteries tonight. But yay. This is really cool. I really only had a week in Japan, as the day that Mars ingressed into Aries in my 6th house of illness, as Mars being my malefic and my time lord, 6th house being activated for me this year using annual perfections, I got COVID. Literally the day that Mars ingressed into my 6th house of illness, and coincided with my hard zodiacal releasing period in my body in Health and Body Matters. So I spent about a week in bed before flying home and was out of it subsequently for 2 weeks. It was a rough 2 weeks, as last time I got COVID, Mars was also in Aries, so interesting to see how astrology works. Hello from Gofukuji Temple here in Japan. This is quite possibly my favorite place in Japan so far on this trip. It is so peaceful and so quiet, and I swear to God, there are fairies that live here. I feel so one with nature here, just basking in the silence, touching the very, very soft, mossy tree trunks. Look how massive this tree trunk is. I prayed to the gods. I prayed to nature, communing with Mother Earth. And wow, it is so magical here. The Jupiter IC line, the IC represents the past, tradition, ancestry, home and family. Jupiter, spirituality, religion, faith, travel, publishing, that higher consciousness of learning, personal development, and also study and religious faith. I swear to God, I feel like I've lived here in a past life. I just feel like I'm tapping into the divine when I'm here in Japan, and it feels mystical and magical, but not in that escapist Neptunian way. It feels like a higher minded thing. And God, it's amazing being here. This temple here at Gofukuji is just stunning, absolutely beautiful. Probably my favorite part of this entire trip so far has been being at this temple, connecting with the trees, the land. It is so silent here. There's no tourists, not a single person. We haven't seen a single person in this area except for the guy that runs this temple. We haven't seen any tourists. No one has flocked through here. And they have these statues of cows right in front of the temple. I'm like, what a beautiful way to celebrate the first day of tourist season. Just absolutely amazing. I hope you enjoyed this fun little Japan astrocartography vlog. And now to show you what I got in Japan. Okay guys, so I have to share with you the cool, cute little things I got in Japan. Are you ready? Because these are cute things. So, over here, you will find I got these little washi tapes One has the backs of cats, different colored cats. The other one are these little hedgehogs. How cute is this? So cute. So I got these little washi tapes, first thing. I also got this cool sponge at a convenience store. I love sponges. If you don't know me, if you haven't been following me for a long time, we all have our things that we're obsessed with. For me, it's like paper, pens, highlighters, and sponges. I'm obsessed with sponges of any kind. Every time I go to a new country, I have to go to the convenience store or grocery store to see what kind of sponges they have. I particularly like yellow sponges with the two-parter, the two sides to it. But this sponge is really special because it's one of those that you can cut really easily and then like wipe on mirrors. So I love this. I'm a cleaning freak. I love cleaning. So I had to get this sponge from Japan to add to my collection. I also got this little cute little mini sponge from a convenience store, 7-Eleven here in Tokyo. Little mirror sponge. So cute, so tiny. It has that double-sidedness, which I love. Great to add to the collection. I also found this at a 7-Eleven, really interesting. It's this little squishy thing that you put in the drain to collect hair. How amazing is that? I'm so excited to use this. So I got that too, and I love all of the Japanese characters on it. I think I might keep this for as long as possible. I also got a disposable camera. Alex and I love to get disposable cameras every time we travel to print out the photos, put them in scrapbooks. We are big scrapbooking people. I also got this really cool, like, kind of cleaning on the go, kind of like a Tide to go, but it's the Japanese version. I love the packaging so much. Look at that funny, this is so cool. Look at that cartoon. I just love this so much. How fun, so good. So I'm really excited to take this out of the packaging soon, but of course I wanted to share with you the packaging before I took it out. I'm just so obsessed. So cool. So I got that. The other thing that's really interesting that I got, if you look in my pencil pouch here, which by the way, I've had this pencil pouch since 2016. I've had this pencil pouch. It's from Band O. Look at these mild liner highlighters. These are really special. So Japan is kind of famous for their highlighters and their paper and pen products. And mild liners are made in Japan. They're extremely nice quality. They have the two-sidedness to them, which is really great. But look at these. What makes these really special? Look what it says. Tokyo Disney Resort. It's the Tokyo Disneyland mild liners. You can only get these at the parks. I'm obsessed. So really cute. The paper quality is really nice. I also got these pens, one for me and one for my friend. My best friend and I, we love cats. We're cat people. And so I found these really cute pens at a store. So I got those. These are just some of my other things I already have. Let's go into some of the bigger things. I got this really cute set of lace wrist gloves, which make me feel like I've stepped back in time. They're so cute. Let me see if I could try one on so you could see what they look like. How cute is this? Oh my God. I also got this really beautiful quilt. I'm just obsessed with quilts and like this kind of pattern, the colors, the pastel. It's just so old fashioned. It makes me feel like I'm living in Martha's Vineyard or Cape Cod, New England style, little country cottage, maybe somewhere in South Carolina or something. Like it's just very slow living vibes, which I love. And I got this at a little Japanese boutique. It was only like $25. Isn't that insane? But the quality is very, very nice. And I love how the inside is also yellow, which is really cool. So I got the quilt. I'm excited to bring that home. Alex could not believe that I was getting that, but I had to. I also got this really cute bag. This was like $15. I also, at the same store, I found this little phone purse. So cute. This was like $20, I think, $15 or $20. But how darling is this? I had so much fun wearing this around my first day at Tokyo Disney Sea before I got COVID. A cat clock. How fantastic is this? The Japanese love kitty cats, and I could not be more pleased with the amount of cat attire that is in the boutiques here in Japan. Of course, they had many different types of cat clocks, but this one was my favorite.
cat looks slightly grumpy, but also slightly cute. So of course I had to get it. So I don't know what I like the most. Tell me, of these items, comment below and let me know what your favorite item that I got during my trip to Japan was. Was it the sponge, the kitty cat pen, the highlighters, the washi tape, the stain remover? Also, I'd love to hear from you down below in the comments. Comment the cat emoji if you've made it this far into the video. I would love to see how many of you have gotten this far into the video. So comment the cat emoji. That would be so fun to hear from you.
After being sick with COVID and not having a lot of food options, I was eager to get back home to France. Have a magical day, and I'll see you in the next one.